Yo, what is up? We are back in the building. Please do me a favor, like, share, subscribe as you come into the room. Also, please don't forget to donate, contribute to the stream. We got a lot of people that's showing love by donating. We have a lot of people who are showing love by liking the channel, subscribing to the content. But we also got a lot of people who are just looky-loo, right? That's okay. It ain't no problem with looking, but liking, subscribing, and contributing to the stream is a form of support. Just looking at the stream saying, hey, I'm getting what I want, and then leaving, checking out without subscribing, liking, or contributing. Come on, man. Don't be a freeloader. Ain't nothing wrong with it, but if you want more of this type of content, incentivize. Today we got to talk about this channel. Man, everybody hates Brandon. I got the little white trailer park queen hating on me. Becky with the dyed blonde good hair. Lily, whatever her name is. And I could understand it from the colonizer. You know what I'm saying? I could understand it and I could accept it from the colonizer. But never in a million years did I think my own brothers, we supposed to be brothers, man, would try to come for me on some straight buffoonery, hating, like ridiculousness. Like, listen, I'm all about constructive criticism and holding people accountable. But these guys, like, I gave them 2 days. I found out about y'all channel. I didn't know you existed before 48 hours ago. I gave y'all 2 days. I watched what y'all had to say about me. I went and watched some other content y'all made. And the conclusion, the reason this video is being made is because I've determined that you've been found wanting, for a lack of a better term. You've been found wanting. The criticisms are not valid. They're extremely hypocritical. And when the criticisms are invalid and hypocritical, the only conclusion that can be reached is that it's straight hate. Okay? This Menace Material Entertainment. I didn't call their name out. I'm going to give them the clout they so desperately sought. Menace Material, or Material Menace. I could be messing up the name. Menace Material Entertainment. They've been at it for a little while. It doesn't seem to be catching on. And I think I know why. Because it's a trio, the three amigos, but there's really one fat, titty having, gelatinous jerk. AJ the Menace, I think that's his name. He is this guy got to be the most hating dude on earth. The other two guys are decent. But they kind of follow along with this guy, and if you follow along with a straight hater, inevitably you're going to become a hater too, or you're going to be cast in the category with all the haters. I mean, you got this guy, Brandon's fat. He's like Dijon. This dude, bruh, your titties is falling through your shirt, but you calling me fat. I take my shirt off every day, no jumper. I change shirt. I walk in. I'm in the middle of the room. I wear a different shirt when I drive up there, and I change the shirt I'm going to wear right before the show. Take my shirt off in front of every single person in there. Put my shirt back on. Ain't no titties, dog. Ain't no titties. I could pull my shirt up right now. Where's the titties? Where are the titties? Listen, my shit ain't like spilling over. I can't even make my chest do what bro chest is doing. Where's the boobs, man? This dude is tittified. This man is tittified. I'm pointing at the screen. Y'all can't even see it. but calling me fat. Let me stop with there. Because this is not about schoolyard personal attacks. This is about real criticism, analyzing this stuff for what it is, and just helping you guys see what I see. That for me is really the mission. I think that's the goal of all podcasts, all content, or all media. Really just helping the audience see what we see. Because though that's not it's not like you guys don't always agree with us. You guys don't always see things from our perspective, but I want you to see what I see. So the first thing I'm going to do, as I really just proved to you that this guy AJ is a hater, I'm going to show you the first piece of evidence that to me settled everything. Because you could be hating, right? Say you in a situation where you sitting around the homies, right? And you could be hating and your homies just aren't telling you, or they're not bringing up like logical arguments against what you're saying. And so in that situation, you're just ignorant because you don't have like the information you need to make a accurate argument or a well-founded argument. But in this case, this is not the case here. This guy's co-host, if you could even call them that, because he does 99.9% of the talking, they're literally saying good things about me, and they're bringing positive things to his attention. But they follow his lead, so they bring something positive. He's like, oh, hell nah. And then he doubles down on the hate. And then they're kind of like, well, if that's, what you want to run with, I guess that's what it is, right? So there's two examples of this happening. And I think I want to share this one first. Bill, new hire. No, I want to share this one first because one of his boys brings up something really a good thing. And this dude's like, nah, and doubles down on the hate. Now, if your criticisms are not objective, and I feel like you have a motive, a personal, like say you want to be in the position I'm in, I feel that disqualifies you from really leveling unbiased criticisms against me. And I think that this guy, AJ, pretty much disqualified himself off the rip. So let me play this clip and just listen real close. His boy's going to bring up some good stuff. And this guy's going to be like, oh, well, he's the shot. Just oversimplified takes on me and like very inaccurate comparisons, if you ask me, of me to DeJohn Paul.
You're the worst version of a journalist, nigga. After you put me on.
But isn't that what no jumper? Like
I was just
Flacco, yeah.
What if in Brandon's defense, like he saw behind the curtain and he thought it was a little bit more professional than what it actually was. He got there, he was like, "Oh, nigga, this nigga."
Well, no, he's still cheerleading for no jumper, so he's in a delusion on no jumper still.
In no jumper, but maybe with Flacco in particular,
right?
He put him on a pedestal journalistically that he just didn't really reach up to in real life.
I think it's more like,
okay, so this guy, I don't know his name. You guys could tell me the names of these guys as I go. I just know the gelatinous one. The guy's like, well, maybe Brandon got to no jumper. He saw that things weren't, as professional as he thought they were. If you listen to me, I've went at Adam before when he was going after Aaron the plumber, like, oh, this is business, da-da-da. And then I was like, bro, you say business when it works in your favor, but then then other things, they're not handled in a very business-like fashion, right? And I think I brought up the situation with him and Brick Baby, like whose boss gives them a $10,000 loan when they go to jail. Or, I talked about that, how Adam uses the term, this is a business, when it fits him. When he didn't want Travis Ford in with the 50 Crips, oh, this is a business. But then in every other aspect, it's a very laxed business environment. So the guy in the middle with the hat, Forgot his name. Give me his name if y'all know it. He brought up a very logical argument or logical point. AJ, he's just so focused on hating, he just glossed over it. This other guy actually responds to it, but I'm going to show you another clip in a second of him actually defending me or bringing up a logical observation. And AJ's just like, nah, we hating on this fool today. These guys, it's really hard to take them serious because the person that they let run point. The guy with the A mic, this guy hasn't, I don't think he's ever made a rational argument that wasn't rooted in glazing or jealousy. If I go after Flacco, I'm not going after Flacco because I'm jealous. I'm going after Flacco because I want Flacco to step up to the plate and make and do better. So when we're on a podcast together, our podcast could get the numbers that Adam's day on No Jumper, his Tuesday show. I want the same views on the Tuesday show as the Thursday show. I want to carry my own weight as a man and also make myself inexpendable. That's really your job at a job. If you work for someone else, you make yourself inexpendable. If we get the Thursday show up to 20,000 people watching like a Tim Pool show or something, Adam can't be like, oh, y'all just, well, it's over. Bye. Y'all fired. Or we bringing these new people in. I mean, he could, but it wouldn't necessarily, it would be very risky. So this guy, AJ, is criticizing me for being a smart podcaster, being a smart employee. To me, it's just so stupid. It makes no sense to me. But hey, guess what? We know where it's coming from because he's about to tell you where it's coming from right now.
Flacco, I don't know how Flacco's probably mad as shit.
But Brandon, Flacco, I get that nigga the fuck.
But Brandon is really doing what he's taught. Like you don't get like Playboy Cardi, but it's a video of him being like niggas taught me the game. I use the game. I fuck they bitch, and it's like you taught me how to fuck these niggas bitches.
Yeah.
So how you mad when I fuck yo bitch? Like you taught me the game.
He's like in a hotel or something.
It's a hotel game.
Yeah. I saw that.
Shout out to Cardi, but it's kind of. I think Brandon is going through that where it's like he's really just doing what he's got him there. And what everybody loved him for. So it's like
what Flacco loved him
for. And so he's probably confused that Flacco is even a little irritated, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what his thing is.
It's what you brought me over here to do
my
little
there's two different ways of looking at it. It's
okay. So these guys brought a logical argument. Brandon is just being his authentic self. This is why Flacco brought him over there. This is what he did to y'all daddy, Tariq Nasheed. This is what he does to everyone he's ever been into it with or interacted with. So why would he change who he is just because he's on No Jumper? If you go by their logic and they are actually right, I am the most authentic person at No Jumper in that case, because I'm probably the only person who's just being me, no matter what is said. Like, I love Aunt Hefe, right? Aunt Hefe's a great guy. But Aunt Hefe, a big reason, like a big thing people point out is like, oh man, when Aunt Hefe laughs, bro laugh be cracking me up. Okay, I don't know if I'm the only one, but it's like Aunt Hefe lately, he been kind of over laughing. Like, yo, I'm laughing maybe a little more because I know that this is what the fans like, right? Here's the thing. The fans can be like, I hate Brandon doing this. I hate Brandon doing that. I hate Brandon doing this. You know what Brandon does? Brandon does exactly what Brandon has always done. I'm not changing or making a single adjustment based on what the fans of No Jumper think. I do me. So AJ, he's a clown because he's mad at me for being real. He's mad at me for being authentic. He's mad at me for being me. Damn, bro, what you want me to be? It says real recognize real. From what I'm recognizing, these other two dudes in the seats, they're real. You're fake. AJ, you're fake. You're holding that podcast down. He's the worst thing about that podcast because he doesn't keep it real. As a matter of fact, he hates real. He hates me because I keep it real. And when they brought it up, telling the truth, both of them. Well, there's two ways to look at it. Not really. Not really. Flacco brought me there for a reason. Flacco lets me be me. He fights and advocates for me to be on shows. And he's like, Brandon is who he is. And if I go at him, he doesn't take it personal. He says, that's just who bro is. If I'm slipping, bro gonna be on me. Bro is gonna be on me. And guess what that does? Iron sharpens iron. When I sit down with that dude, I better bring my A game. When I sit down, that's like if me or you, one of us, sat down with Candace Owens. You better not come with no bull crap when you sit down with Candace Owens. You better not come with no pseudo history or pseudo historical statements or assertions. You better not be coming with no ridiculous lies or misinformation. You just know you got to step your game up when you sit with old girl. It's just the way it is. AJ's mad at that because he's talentless. That's the problem. He has no talent. So he feels like his talent is to tear down other people who are talented or to unjustly give unfair criticisms, unfairly, unjustly criticize people who are better than him. AJ, you fucked up. You messed up. The wrong one. You came after the wrong one. You bit off more than you could chew. Let's listen to what AJ said. Well, there's two ways you can look at it. And I'm telling you, this guy is a mush mouth babbler. He never makes a point. He just says random stuff and basically waits for the other two to bail him out. Listen to this.
It really ought to, but that is fucked up that he brought him.
That's what I'm saying, because there's that level, but then there's also this nigga's not as real as I thought he was.
Yeah,
or he's been planning it from the start.
Planning what from the start?
The fact that it's like, all right,
I'm gonna get in.
I'm gonna get cool with him. I'm gonna get in, and then I'm gonna expose him because, like, deep down, he might see himself as just a superior talent. And it's like, yo,
I think he definitely
if this nigga's occupying this space, imagine what I can do when I get in the door. And the best way to get coach's attention is to fuck up the star player
in practice.
And he does
exactly 1v1 that nigga.
I need to go to No Jumper to put another nigga on a t-shirt.
And that's the thing.
Who you think would be?
You could just see the hate in AJ's eyes. I need to go to No Jumper to put another N-word on a t-shirt. Who did you put on a t-shirt? I watched your, and I'm going to get into that later. These guys have been to No Jumper, and it was a shit show. AJ messed up their whole little podcast that they did. You got to the table, and Adam was cooking harder than the lead singer of the group. Like, AJ, you are Otis in the Temptations. Ain't nobody coming to see you, Otis. You might be the leader of the group, but you are a backup singer at the end of the day. But you don't realize you're a backup singer yet. You still think that you should be singing lead. You think you should, you still think you should be the lead singer. You're a backup. And either one of them is going to have to take the lead, or somebody's going to have to, or they're going to have to bring another person in who could put AJ in his place. But maybe AJ's paying for everything. So he's like, if you don't let me take my ball and go home type shit. But what I want to do is show y'all the video that they're criticizing, and they're totally wrong. He wants to take Flacco's place, and Flacco this, and Flacco. You don't know what's going on between me and Flacco. Me and Flacco talk every day. Okay? Me and Flacco are hella cool. You saw the video that Adam posted where he was just randomly filming us when we were at No Jumper, me and Flacco playing around and shit. Me and Flacco are beyond cool. But everything I say to Flacco on camera, I will say to Flacco off camera. Everything I say to Adam on camera, I will say to Adam off camera. Like I'm just being real with you. I'm being totally real. I'm not one of these people. I don't freaking tell people. I don't say one thing when I'm on camera, and then when I'm off camera, I'm a whole different person. You know what? Let me see if I can call Josh to get Josh to confirm this. Let's see. He might not answer because he doesn't like me, but whatever. The sun shines on a dog's ass every once in a while. But like, if I call you, they usually don't. They're not. I've never called them, but they probably won't answer my call. They're gonna be like, this nigga Brandon's annoying as fuck, or I just generally don't like this dude. So it's like, but me, I'm in a space where like, I know that. If I call Adam, he's probably not gonna, I don't think Adam likes me. Like he loves me. So when they come with this, oh dude, he's cooning, he wants to impress massa. Like, dude, what are you talking about? They don't even like me like that. I tell you guys that every day. But that's just the way it is. It has nothing to do with my talent level. It has nothing to do with, what I bring to the table. It just doesn't have to do with any of those things. We just aren't people who mesh well outside of podcasting. So to act like I'm doing something to impress that person or impress this person and all this, that's not how that works. That's not how that works. But this guy's a straight hater. I need to go put another, like, he really wants to be in Flacco's position. That's really, oh, Josh just sent me his number. Because I look, I don't have these guys' numbers. Well, I have Adam's number. But Josh just sent me his number, so I'm going to call him back. Oh, this dude talking about give me 15 minutes. Okay, so anyway, maybe he does like me. He responded, gave me his action number, all that stuff. But what I'm telling you guys is, I didn't even have Josh's number. He just gave it to me right now. Right now. But what I'm telling you is, I ain't doing nothing for life. I wasn't put on this planet to be liked. My own people in my own family don't even like me. Do you think I'd be like, let me go kiss someone who I don't even know's butt, and I don't even kiss their butt? But the point is, the criticisms of me are false. They made some good points, but then they start going left when they were saying, yo, this guy is trying to like replace Flacco, all that shit. That will never be the case. 1,000%. Not because, him and Flacco have a plan to eliminate. It's not that. I like Flacco. He's a good podcaster. He's a good person to work with. And you could tell that from Flacco's personal channel, which is destroying all of our channels. For me to try to challenge Flacco on content creation, I would just be stupid. But you ain't going to see me sit up and talk crap on Flacco when he's not around. No, I'm a real dude. I'm going to say what I have to say, whether you're around or not. I mean, anything I say behind your back, I will say to your face. That's what I'm trying to say. Anything I say behind your back, I will say to your face. I have a huge problem with people who say things behind people's back, but they won't say it when they're in the room. Humongous problem with that. I hate that. You guys saw with the Almighty thing. You ain't call me no, you are a B. You are a B. Look, because I don't want nobody to say, oh, he's just talking behind my back. Please. You don't have enough universal weight. Right? You don't move the scales of the universe enough for me to say something behind your back. But this guy's a hater, bro. He's comparing himself to me and Flacco. And it's really sad. Ashy ass knees.
The easiest.
2-0 already.
What?
Every time I go.
Oh, you don't put him on.
Oh no. Oh my. Damn it. You know what you should go for?
How are you gonna put him on a t-shirt though?
Cook them.
Thank you.
He's gonna talk shit about their podcasting, dog.
But how are you gonna do that? Like with Brandon?
it always presents itself.
Oh my god!
It always.
You're just gonna
presents
wait it for like a dumb argument.
You be yourself,
Yeah,
and I'll be myself, and I'll see it.
Yeah,
that's how it always goes.
What if he's really like? What if you met your match?
No,
this nigga
Absolutely
Brandon, his intellect might just be too superior.
nah.
it really all depends though. But Flacco shouldn't be mad. He just has to show. He has to show his student why he's the head journalist, why he's the head judo journalist.
He definitely does need to do that. He need to whoop on him for sure.
Yeah,
but Flacco normally does better in solo instances though. Like I feel like he defends himself, he articulates his points better when he's just by himself.
But Brandon's not ready. Brandon's not ready for a video yet.
For a solo video,
he's not ready for a video yet.
But you know,
it's not at that point yet. If I was Flacco, I'd just be like in that when you try to hit me with you're the worst version of a journalist. What are we doing right now? Is that what we? If that's what we on,
listen. What is this guy talking about? I have my own solo stuff right now. I'm being solo right now. I do live streams. I've had videos 20,000 views. I had a video 70,000 views. Sitting down at a table at a coffee shop, just talking. Like that's not the content that I create on a regular basis. I'm sure if I chop this down to a 10-minute video, it will do like 30, 40,000 views probably versus their video, which did like 2,000 views. Please stop. Please stop. And both of these guys have made logical arguments in my defense, right? But the lead hater, this guy, he hasn't made one valid argument against me. But I want to quickly show you guys a video they're criticizing where I feel like I made an extremely good point, and it revolved around Flacco talking about gang members and stuff, but then being afraid to go to the hood to like confront these people or being afraid to let these people come to No Jumper so that they can confront him. Who likes a person, right? Who likes a person who talks about them, but they can't get an audience in front of the person to defend themselves? Don't disrespect me on national TV, but then refuse to allow me to defend myself on national TV. Oh, I disrespected you on national TV, but me and you can have a phone call if you want to defend yourself. Tap into this. That as big as you are and as much as you talk, there should be no place that is off limits to you.
I don't want to go to the hood, bro. I'm sorry. If the hood is your like
no one will,
no, hold on. You right? That's again. Right. Again.
Wait a minute.
Again.
Let me say this.
Again, that's for you niggas. I rather go somewhere where it's fly.
You would know this. Who was the model? Who used to be a war correspondent? She used to work she was a model, then she became a war correspondent. She would go into battles and like take pictures and do journalism.
I don't know, but Diane Sawyer could get knocked
one of the listen, but this is you have skinny blonde white women who are journalists. They'll talk about the Taliban, then go in Afghanistan and walk amongst the Taliban.
That's a fact.
You are the worst type of journalist there is. You will say something about someone, something about somebody's hood, but you are scared to go to that place.
What did I say about the hood?
It's about journalistic integrity. I'm going to say what I say. I feel so confident and so reassured in what I say that I'm willing to stand face to face with that person because I know my integrity is intact. It makes No Jumper look like a pseudo journalistic place.
Well, that's just verbal masturbation you're doing right now, right? You can't even name like what I've said.
Anytime you hit a nigga with verbal masturbation, you're losing.
You can see it.
You're losing.
You haven't capitulated yet, but you're about to.
You're losing, even though Brandon is making a kind of like a stupid point because.
Well, that's not. Come on, then. That means it's verbal masturbation.
Actually, not necessarily. It's not really.
Is he making a stupid point or an intelligent point?
Brandon or
Brandon.
Brandon is making a pseudo-intelligent point.
It's
got the allure of intelligence, but it's just dumb in essence because No Jumper.
It's all contextual.
No Jumper is pseudo-journalism.
But the point is, be better. That's the point. The point is, hey, I'm here, and while I'm here, I'm trying to be with the best. If I'm here, I want to see No Jumper moving up the ranks. I want us passing up Joe Budden. I want us passing up any of these other podcasts where we're way past this shit. But I want us moving up the ladder. I don't want to just, it's like going to a new team and you don't want to win a Super Bowl. Let's just keep on making the playoffs. No. What do I see that can change that I think will be better, will make us better? I'll give you a prime example. I was teaching a jiu-jitsu class last week, right? And there's a kid, he's super good. He competes a lot. You know, he wins tournaments, but he just can't win at the highest level. Now, me, I've won at the highest level. I've won everything. So when I look at his matches and they're over there training, I'm looking at his matches on YouTube. And then I go up to him and I say, here's the thing. You love to be on your back. You love to be on the ground. You love to play from guard. I said, but when I watch your matches, I see opportunities for you to wrestle your way up, and you'll pass up those opportunities. And I know why you're doing it, because you want your jiu-jitsu to look beautiful. But at some point, if at level, bro, you're going to have to get ugly on them. You're going to have to wrestle, take a single leg, stand up, kick somebody other leg from up under him. You're going to have to make it look ugly sometimes if you want to win at the highest level. Stop bailing your competition out because you want to have perfect jiu-jitsu. Perfect jiu-jitsu doesn't win tournaments. Ugly jiu-jitsu wins tournaments. It's like saying defense wins championships. Well, yeah, guess what? If you score 150 points, that might win championships. But here's the thing. If both of y'all are capable of scoring 150 points a game, you're going to need some defensive stops to beat that team. If they can score like you can score. Defense wins championship. And that's basically the talk I was giving Flacco. Hey, man, you're going to have to go see somebody. If we really want No Jumper to go to the next level, we're going to have to start letting the ops come up. We said some stuff about Dodie 6. I was right there taking a picture with Dodie 6 days later. I didn't say nothing like crazy disrespectful, but I talked about drugs and bro needs to slow it down and get back to the music and all that stuff. And when I walked up to those 40 Crips, when I was at Marathon Burger, they was like, yeah, we know Jumper K. I was like, what? And I'm in the alley with these dudes. And I just walked over there, hey, yeah. And then, you work on No Jumper? I was like, yeah. And then I was talking. I was talking to them, chopping up and all that. You know how many people at that damn shit are No Jumper K at anything anything you go to? A lot of people hate No Jumper in LA. No Jumper done talked about a lot of niggas' hoods. For me to just go up there and be like, oh, dang. For me to just go up there though and be like, yeah, I work at No Jumper. You know, it is what it is. Right? That's how you get your respect back in the streets. Right? That's how you get your respect back in the streets. You got to go see people. You got to go holler at people. And then they say, you know what? I might have a problem with that platform, but I mess with that guy, Brandon. He's outside. He's coming around. Because they feel like they have access. And that's what I was telling Flacco. Like, you got to give people access if you're going to be talking about them. Talking about them. That's how you keep yourself from getting freaking packed out and beat up and whatever else. Because they say, hey, he might have said something about me, but I'm going to see that fool and we'll chop it up when I see him. That's in all walks of life. If someone feels like they have access to you, they're not immediately inclined to be angry because they're like, I could always hit him up later and see what he meant by that. Yeah, like the video if you agree that this is a W string. But you guys forget, Flacco is like 25 years old. He's not an older dude. So these guys are learning. They're learning. They might be successful as far as social media, but the one of the biggest issues with social media is it's given a voice to a lot of people who are not, they're not fully grown mentally yet. Right? My super chat should be posting. But they're not fully grown mentally yet. So you got to work with those people. But it's a difference. Now, super chat is definitely there. But you can't be sitting up like, and that's what I understand with them. So I'm like, let's talk to these, like I talk to these dudes. I give these dudes advice. All that. The little Mexican boys was mad at me. They 22, 21. Because some shit I said. Then a couple days later, I go in, they cool. We chop it up, we laughing, joking again. Yeah, they just young. They growing, they learning. They're learning. That dude who y'all saw on the show, Kenny was like, y'all remember Kenny? Put on one of y'all remember Kenny. He sat in on the show the other week. Kenny was like, this dude, Kenny, lives in Long Beach. Kenny didn't go to 24-hour fitness in Long Beach one day because he was like, I don't want to run into Brandon or Viral Way. I know they work out at 24 in Long Beach, right? This fool goes to work out at a 24 in another city, runs into Viral Way. He was like, dude, I never expected to run into this dude at the gym. But then he said he got to chopping it up with him. And he was like, nah, you guys are cool as hell. He met me, then he met Viral. He was like, nah, these dudes are cool as hell, right? But they're just young. They don't realize, like, we not taking stuff personal like that. They really think if they say something about us online, they gonna see us and we gonna be trying to fight them and stuff. But that's why you educate AJ. But I think AJ is an incel who got a microphone in front of his face. But these guys are giving logical arguments to him, and he's just dismissing them. That's why I don't too much fault these other two. But him, this dude is just dirty. He's a freaking jerk. But it's cool. He could be a jerk. It ain't getting him nowhere, but he's free to do whatever he wants. So I want to play this one now because this was a real hating ass one right here. Yeah, I don't even think he wants to just disagree. He's just a hater. He wants to be in Flacco's spot or my spot. That's what I feel like. And if you do, move to California or get on a flight like a Hellcat or like Unc used to do, or like Jalise does, come way to hell from NorCal. Too fat and lazy, but want to criticize. Here's another point.
That's how he comes off to me.
That's how he comes off
to me. They found a Dejan replacement, but I don't think it's the right replacement. But at the same time, when I go with how you put it, might be the perfect replacement.
Nigga, this is the best thing that happened to No Jumper in a while. I'm telling you.
Nah, it ain't that good.
You can put him up against anybody. It's gonna be gold.
Him versus Lush?
I see a lot of L's.
That's not. Come on, dog. You get what I'm saying.
You said anybody.
Yeah, but I mean, fuck. Help me. Help me, nigga. We trying to make it anything. But
what do you mean? Me and Lush did a stream. That thing's almost at 100,000 views. Definitely got 100,000 views if you include the video clips that were made from it. What are you talking about? But this guy said, whether you disagree with the guy or not, he's making a good point, and then you come with the counter argument. But I don't see AJ making counter arguments. I see AJ just being very dismissive of the arguments that are made. Brandon sucks. Why? Brandon's a liar. What did he lie about? Brandon is horrible. Why is Brandon horrible? Break it down. Break it down. Break it down. This is one of the things, like I always tell my kid, if you make an argument, always be able to say why. Okay, look, let me ask you a question. Do you think I'm a good father, and why?
Yeah, I think you're a good father. You provide for the house. You help out with me in my volleyball, stuff like that. And you provide money for food, bills. We have a place to stay, and you're also just a very nice guy. You know, when you're trying to be.
She said you're a very nice guy when you're trying to be. But look, she's 16. She's 16. She can say yes or no, and this is why. AJ, you 40 and balding, or you already bald. That's those days are long gone when you were balding. And you make an assertion, but you can't say why. And what I think it is you're just looking at someone who hands down is better than you, and you don't like that. But ain't nothing stopping you from freaking, at this point, you could use AI and they'll give you rational arguments to make against people. You won't even do that. You won't even do that. But you criticize me. This is crazy. I'm gonna put somebody on a shirt. And then the other dude said, well, how you gonna beat Brandon? How you gonna put him on a shirt? The opportunity will present itself. If you don't have a plan, you're planning to fail. If you don't have a plan, you're planning to fail. You're gonna come from whatever hole you live in, get on a plane, come all the way to California, come all the way to civilization, and hope that I say something where you could say, gotcha, bitch. The guy just doesn't have talent. The guy just does not have talent. So what he does is he criticizes those who do. You could go anywhere in the world and you will never find a statue of a critic, AJ. You're going to have to do something great. You're going to have to do something great. You can't just piggyback off of other people who do great things. You get nowhere criticizing excellence or even people who make a good effort. Come on, man. Brandon sucks. I'm raising a valedictorian. What you raising? I'm raising a 4.3 GPA. What are you producing? But you feel like you have the space to talk about me. The things I don't even talk about would eclipse whatever you're doing. Oh, I got a degree. That's a lot of people's accomplishment in their life. I got a degree and that makes me better than you. No. That's like a cop saying, I got a badge, so I'm better than you. You know how many cops ask I whoop a day on jiu-jitsu practice? And begging me to come hang out at their house and kick it with them. And, hey, come on. Dude, I got lawyers and doctors and super accomplished people begging me to hang out with them. Begging. Please, bring the kids. And I'm not saying that, no disrespect to them. They're great. But that shit, it don't mean nothing. It doesn't mean anything other than in the workforce, basically. But life is about more than that. Life is about way more than that. Do you have people who love you, care about you, appreciate the things you do? Like my daughter, she's very appreciative of the thing. I mean, we ain't rich, we ain't living in a mansion, but she appreciates it. How many dudes got their kids in a mansion and their kids don't appreciate nothing they do? Do you see a statue of Roger Ebert? I don't know if there's any statues of Roger Ebert. There will never be one. He might have a star on the Walk of Fame. But I'm just saying, this dude to me is like a low-budget Anton Daniels. And even Anton Daniels gives me my respect. He's been on this show. I love what you're doing, big dog. Da-da-da-da. We had a debate on here about immigration 2 years ago. Come on, bro. Bigger people, greater podcasters than you have given me my props. But I ain't no hater, though. I ain't hating on nobody.
I do like Brandon. I don't look. I do think he has a certain he has an ignorance to him, but I don't want to make that seem like he's a fool because of that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, how could those two exist at the same time?
Because that's the world. Like, he knows what he's talking about, and specifically to what you were saying with, like, what was you saying? What Dejan knows about the corporate structure, like, of business, has nothing to do with what Brandon knows about, like, black information. Like, Brandon knows a lot more black stuff than what Dejan knows about corporate business.
I think they're on the same level. They're both limited.
No.
I think they're limited. Both of them are limited, and I know they're limited because Brandon uses attack. Like, when he was going as suspect, he like goes to like these like.
Hold on, everybody calling back right now. Hey, Trapper.
What's up, fool?
Hey, look, I'm on live right now, right?
Yeah.
Look, man. Remember when we was in the alley with Dodie Sixten, right?
Yeah.
What's the first thing they was saying about no jumper when I went back there, about how, like, they was like, oh, you be on no jumper? Like, they was tripping on no jumper low key.
Yeah, nigga, no jumpers never met with a positive response at all.
Them niggas was like, we no jumper K.
Yeah, until niggas was able to separate you from no jumper, niggas wasn't fucking with you.
And did I not go up to all them like, yeah, I'll be on there, but then I start just talking to them like regular.
That's cool. And then also what can be noted is, if you look at Dodie Six immediate interaction with Almighty Suspect, it was not positive.
Right. So
Almighty Suspect had his hand out for a minute before Dodie Six reciprocated that handshake.
So when I say that Flacco gotta, it's not wrong to tell Flacco, like, if you're gonna speak on these dudes, you're gonna have to make yourself available so that they know that it's an open line of communication and it's not just one-sided. You just throwing stones and they got no access to you.
No, and then after you was able to talk to niggas and you kicking it for hours and you all by yourself away from all the homies just doing your own shit, you had respect at the end of the day. Niggas fucking with you. All right then, Brandon.
Exactly. Hey, I'm gonna call you back.
Wait, hold on.
What's up?
Real quick, and I'm glad that you brought that up. The girl just hit me. It's looking like Lush is canceling again for week number 2.
Damn. We not supposed to be. Hey, that's supposed to be a secret. That's supposed to shock everybody.
Man, that nigga not coming, bro.
Who knows? I'll hit him up today.
All right, then.
All right. But I'm telling y'all, like, nothing. Listen, the number one law or rule of leadership is you can never ask someone to do something that you're not willing to do. I do it first. Then I say, hey, I've done it and I do it. And I say, you got to do this, man. This is how you're going to be good in the hood. For real. But to say like, oh, I don't care about going to the hood. Nah, dude. No. Even, you know who just did that? DJ Academics. Didn't he? He was at a TDE show, right? It was in Detroit, but he was still there. He gave dudes access to him so he could see what they was really all about. And he was good. And when he went back home to New Jersey, he started talking trash, but at least he could say, hey, I was right there and y'all didn't do nothing. I'm being real. It's really not a secret. But this guy, AJ, let me play the rest of this. But bro, I just look at it like bro is hating.
He goes to schoolyard level insults and just like he tries to break him.
This is him criticizing my interaction with Almighty.
Down with like a schoolyard level. He didn't try to break suspect down verbally with a nigga who can do it. Like he goes to, well, this is just a light-skinned nigga that's being sensitive. No, bust him down like verbally. You know what I'm saying?
You're like, tell him what his psychological condition is.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't say these light-skinned niggas just always be complaining. No, you're supposed to cook them in a different way. Yeah. Anybody can say the light-skinned niggas act like this and dark-skinned niggas act like that. That's nothing. Like you get 0 points on the intellectual side.
But he's criticizing me for doing something that he's doing. He hasn't given any evidence of me not being that smart, me not being that talented, me not being genuine, or me kissing Adam's ass just for clout and wanting to be on no job. He hasn't given any evidence for any of those things. Yet he can criticize me for what he's claiming is doing the same thing. Come on, bro. He's not even smart. You need to cook Almighty Suspect in a logical, in a intelligent way. Listen, bro, Almighty Suspect is a bully. The only thing you need to do to a bully to win is to stand up to him. The cooking of Almighty Suspect didn't revolve around nothing that could be said. The fact that Almighty Suspect, I said what I wanted to say, he didn't jump up and do me like Kelpie, that was the win. Understand who you're dealing with. This guy is validated off of this idea that it don't matter who it is. If you say something he don't like or you disrespect him, he gonna jump up and start swinging on you. That is the foundation upon which Almighty Suspect's notoriety was built. And once I got in the room with him 2 feet away and said whatever the hell I wanted to say, and he didn't do nothing, not once, but twice, other than try to spit on somebody, then ran when I jumped up to get his ass, then pulled out a knife when I had him in the corner, that destroyed the fake persona that he had been selling to everybody. It's like the guy who everybody think could beat up everybody, but then he's turning down fades. He loses just him not fighting him. Him not fighting is hurting his credibility more than him losing a fight would have. Now, losing the fight is the ultimate nail in the coffin, but not fighting, it almost has the same effect. What are you talking about? You got to know how to deal with the person who you do. He's like the guy who says, well, if I want to, he's the guy who's like, yeah, use a sledgehammer to nail in a freaking tiny wood nail. Like, the sledgehammer will be overkill. You use like a ball peen or a small hammer for that. Like, he doesn't understand nuance. AJ, nuance is lost on him. See, because this is the thing. The number one way to recognize someone who has no talent or power is they don't understand how to use or wield power, right? They don't it's like when you look at the Superman cartoon. You like, Superman could go knock out 100 people. Like, I used to watch Superman, right? It was crazy when I was a kid. And sometimes I would see like villains, right? It'll be like 100 villains. And I'd be like, man, Superman about to go through and knock out all those villains. And then Superman come through with the heat vision and kill them all with just heat vision in 10 seconds. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And with Almighty, I could break him down on an intellectual level and out-debate him and all that. Yeah, I could. I might not be able to out-joke him. He has pretty funny jokes. But he's a kid. He's a kid-minded person. Kids tend to be more funny than adults without even trying. I could do that. But why? I can just stand here and be a man and be like, yep, I'm going to say whatever I want to say. And you, the guy who everybody thinks is so tough, ain't going to do a damn thing about it. And that ate at that Negro. It killed him. It killed him. Because in that moment, he was powerless. Wait, my stupid jokes aren't working. I don't have any real personal information like I did with Jalise, so I can humiliate him. So the only thing I got now is to attack him, but I'm too scared. He lost. But AJ couldn't appreciate that because he was hating. Now, how would AJ have dealt with Almighty? Excuse me. I would love to see how AJ would have dealt with Almighty Suspect. The alley shit killed him. Yeah, you're right. All right, guys, I promise to let y'all in here to talk. Y'all, it only makes sense to me if the audience can react. And let me tell you something else. I always do live shows. People want to come up here and talk, give their opinion. If AJ wants to come up here, guess what? It's a live show. The link is in the comments. He could come up here. He could do all his research and cook the hell out of me. But you know what's crazy about this guy? He had it. The link is in the comments, by the way, y'all. The link is in the comments. The super chats are definitely working. As a matter of fact, we've got one super chat here. The Neighborhood Herald. Brandon, check your email. I checked it. The reaction to Little Miss Trailer Park is coming up soon, either tonight or in the morning. But I definitely saw it, and Harold is coming. People can always come up and have access to me. You got a problem with something I'm saying? Click the link, come up. I won't even, and I'll let you talk. I'll let you talk. I'm not gonna just block you or drop you. I don't work like that. So for this guy, oh, he's not ready. He's not, bro. I done been through the fire, okay? When it comes to debates, online, all that, I done been through the fire. I'm not saying I'm the best ever, but I'm telling you, I've been around the block. This guy can't even make a valid argument when I'm not even in the room. So how's he gonna make an argument when I'm sitting in front? If I was sitting in front of him? Yo, Daniel, what up?
What's up?
Chilling. Got some.
I agree with the guy. You do kind of suck.
Okay.
I mean, we're just going to be honest.
Let's be honest.
It's like fat on fat crime, though. Y'all both, y'all kind of look alike. He's trying to be the new Brandon.
I think so.
But seriously, though, how many subs do they have? You giving them a lot of shine. I never heard of these dudes before.
Me either. 20. They got more than me. They got 25,000. They got 25,000.
Oh, okay. They got more than you. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know how. Terrible. Definitely if they got some subs, it's for them other two dudes. Because the lead singer, bro, is terrible.
Yeah, bro.
AJ, he the only person who, in my opinion, really didn't give a good argument. Yeah. He was just talking. He wasn't making no damn sense.
You are like a Flacco without the talent.
I agree with you.
Because I watch his stuff all the time. I make your show, actually. That's the best thing about your show.
No, when you call up here, definitely. I would have a single subscriber.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just had to come up here and I'll put my 2 cents in. FBA
to the casket drop.
Absolutely.
RD.
All right, man.
Yo, AZ, what up?
Yo, bro.
Yo,
like I feel like a lot of the things you say about Almighty is false.
You still on that?
I mean, wasn't you just talking about him?
I was using him as an example. They were
bringing
him up.
Yeah, I mean, you were saying that the perception of him is wrong. People think he's tough, but he won't do nothing to you. This, down, the third, right?
I mean, I wouldn't say he wouldn't do anything to me, but I know in a physical, he ain't gonna physically fight me.
Yeah, but like I remember when you were trying to kind of like make the argument as to why Almighty, this is karma for the things Almighty has done. You were bringing up Jalise and the way he treated Jalise and the woman that he might have did something to get locked up in jail and stuff like that, right?
I didn't bring her up. I brought up Kelpie. I brought up Jalise and Kelpie.
Okay, but how is he wrong for the Jalise situation?
I mean, you don't spew someone's personal business that they told you in confidence, like, to the public. On top of that, from what I know, they went on a date and he was like interested in her, and like it ended up not working out, and now you like bashing her. So I don't know how much of that could have been said across the dinner table, because I heard he took her to a nice steakhouse, and then all of a sudden you bashing her. Like, and there's nothing wrong with bashing her. We're all podcasters, but to use personal information, your kids are in the system and stuff, that's uncalled for. And you, as a man, you should even see that.
Right, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, Jalise was the one that initiated.
I don't think you do.
Okay, Jalise was the one that initiated the insults and the.
You're telling me about what a bitch did, and then so what you're doing is telling me because that bitch did this, I'm gonna be a bitch, and I'm gonna justify Almighty being a bitch. Get it straight.
I don't think that necessarily makes you a bitch
women are emotional. Women are extremely emotional. They say all types of dumb shit. As a man, I would feel it's beneath me to resort to their tactics, even against them.
Why? Says who?
Says my twig and two berries, dude. What the hell?
All right, but that's not really an argument to say
That's
what he's
a
doing
very
is
good
wrong.
argument.
Just saying, oh well, it's because what a man does doesn't necessarily justify anything.
Almighty was a host.
I could say a woman shouldn't be raising her voice at a man and disrespecting him on the public platform. I could say the same thing.
Do you think Charlemagne the God would have did that?
Charlemagne is a man that's not really respected by a lot of men.
Do you think Joe Rogan would have did that?
Joe Rogan? No, I don't think so. No.
Do you think DJ Academics would have did that?
Yes, actually, I do think.
No, you don't. Ack would not have been saying, "Yo, kids in the system" and all that. He wouldn't have did that. Do you think Shannon Sharp would have did that? Like that is the area, that is the realm in which Almighty is operating in. No Jumper is a huge platform, and the host of No Jumper are public figures.
Right, but those guys you said wouldn't do that because of the society that we live in and how it's looked at for a man to be insulting a woman on the public sphere.
They wouldn't do that because it would be harmful to their brand.
Exactly, but that doesn't mean it's like wrong and he has karma and like all the stuff you were saying. It's just because.
And what Almighty did harmed the brand. Like they got like calls.
Not really.
Listen, bro, you don't know what I know.
When Sharp was on that show, that was his whole shtick.
Listen. The YouTube reps called, they physically thought Almighty was about to hit Jalise. If your YouTube rep is calling you while you're live saying, it looks like that guy's going to hit her, get it under control, that's a problem, bro.
I mean, it is a problem in the sense of public perception.
No, it's a problem in the sense. It's a problem in the sense it could get that whole channel demonetized.
Right, which is still public perception.
Where do you work? Where do you work?
Well, how is that relevant to the conversation?
Because I don't think you understand the gravity of the situation.
I do. I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying that it's because of public perception.
Do you make $100,000 a year?
I don't think that's relevant, bro.
No, it is relevant. Do you make $100,000 a year?
Can you tell me the relevance?
The relevance is this. If you make $20,000 a year and you work at IHOP, I can understand why you don't think it's a big deal. You're saying, oh, it's about public perception. No, this is about dollars and cents.
Which is based on public perception.
Really the perception of the public, the YouTube rep is private.
You're a perfect example of what I'm saying. A lot of people don't like you but it's public perception. Does that make you actually wrong in the things you say? No. But a lot of people don't like you.
The YouTube rep doesn't give a damn about me. They are private. This is behind closed doors. This is now the private perception. This is now how the people who put money in your pocket are looking at it. They don't give a damn about your little ass channel. They over here looking at Mr. Beast with billions of views. So if they had to call and say, it looks like this guy's going to hit this woman.
Right.
Now, what you don't get is No Jumper employs over 25 people, maybe more. They feed their families, have been feeding their families for 10 years off of No Jumper. On top of that, there are dozens of YouTube channels whose entire revenue is based on No Jumper because all they talk about is No Jumper. You got to understand that Almighty is a child. So when he makes a decision and does dumb shit, he's not thinking about all the people who are going to be impacted by what he does. Do you understand?
Right. Yeah, I understand that aspect.
So when you tell me, well, I don't think your criticism of Almighty is fair, I'm telling you, fam, you're not looking at the true gravity of the situation. You got people who got car notes and rent and mortgages that they pay with No Jumper. But if that guy gets No Jumper shut down and Adam has to be like, F it, then who feeds their kids? Like, you guys don't really understand when No Jumper do a video and it only get 100,000 views. You guys don't understand. Look, now Adam has never said this to me, but when I look at these videos and if they're not successful, I think about Josh, I think about Donnie, I think about Mikey, I think about all these people. And the funny thing is, Almighty will bring up Mikey all the time, but not realizing that his behavior puts Mikey's livelihood at risk.
Mm-hmm.
See, so that's why I say, that's why I'm so critical of Almighty. I don't have anything personal against him, but as a man who's 28 years old with kids to feed, he should be behaving with more maturity.
Right. And I agree that his actions, or well, he didn't actually hit her, but let's just say he did, hypothetically speaking, that would have cost the company, money that could have got shut down. Everything you're saying is true, and I wouldn't condone that at all, but because of what you're saying. But when you initially were talking about this, you weren't talking about it from a business perspective. You were saying this is the karma he gets for the mistreatment of these women. That's how you said it. You didn't say, oh, Almighty was just a dumbass, emotional little brat that could have got the company shut down. You didn't. That's not the angle you came with. And what I'm saying is,
I also brought up Kelpie.
Right, Kelpie.
Yeah.
All these people were the ones that initiated the conflict. Kelpie called him a bitch. The female Jalise brought up his personal life for no reason and was disrespecting him for no reason.
She brought up some hood shit.
Right. She brought up something that has nothing to do with what they were talking about. She was talking about him and his mother and stuff like that.
Did she talk about his kids?
Yes.
Yes. But what did he brought up the mom stuff first? All I heard her say was, you have a mother who loves you. That's all I heard her say.
No, maybe you should take another look next time you have some time.
What she said about his mother.
Well, damn, see, now you're making me remember exactly what she said. No, I swear she was the first disrespectful one. I could promise you that.
I'm not saying
I could promise you that.
I thought I heard her call him a bitch, and I also
I
heard her bring up him getting put off of BPS. Those are things cool, but bro.
And she said he was a terrible person. She said he was a terrible person as well.
You're a terrible person. Well, he could have said, no, you're a terrible person.
He did. He was like, because his point was, you're saying I'm a terrible person, but I'm the reason you got this opportunity to be on No Jumper because I'm the one that proposed you to Adam, which is true.
So if you know you're a person, so if you know the only reason they're here is because of you, why do you?
So he was upset. Well, he was upset at the He was upset at the ungratefulness, the disrespect, the blatant disrespect in the public. You know what I'm saying? Then she's making accusations, bringing up old things that people don't, even know about. So he went off on her. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. People are going to think, I get it. And people are going to think that's a man yelling at a woman and insulting her and degrading her. And that is wrong. But at the same time, I think we got to be fair here and acknowledge the fact that she was the one that disrespected him first, called him out his name first, and he simply matched her energy.
No, he didn't match. He went above and beyond. Same thing with me. He went above and beyond by bringing a knife to her. Almighty is the person who takes shit to the next level unnecessarily. He's that guy. He flies off the handle. He loses control, and he acts like not even violently. He just acts like he's just ridiculous. He's reckless. That's what he is. Nothing Jalise said to Almighty to me was as bad as the stuff he said to her.
Really?
Me joking back and forth for Almighty and talking shit on him did not warrant a knife being pulled out.
No, I agree with that. I think the knife is just him knowing he can't see you in a physical confrontation. So And
this is the thing. He never had to have a physical confrontation with me.
Well, you know how it is, bro. If I'm having an argument with a dude,
I'm not gonna spit on him. That's forcing someone to do something.
That is true. Yes, I do agree with that. But you also understand that
situation.
Yeah, but you also understand, especially coming out the hood, that when you talk to another man a certain way, especially in front of other people on camera, you're putting them in a position where they have to now retaliate. You know that. Come on now.
No, Almighty. The same thing you're saying to me is what Almighty did. Almighty is the one who started with the B word and calling me out my name and stuff. I never called him out his name until he called me out of my name 50 times. So what are you talking about?
Wasn't it you that told him that he was saying the N-word and he's a high yellow nigga?
No,
and all this?
I asked him, did he say the hard ER? I asked him off camera. And
he said no.
Listen, what I'm telling you is I asked him off camera. He said no. Josh turned the cameras on. Almighty continued to go on about what was said off camera. That was him. That whole situation was caused by Almighty.
Yeah.
If I asked you, you said no, I left it at that. That's why if you watch the first video, the majority of the time I wasn't even saying nothing. I was just sitting there like,
yeah. He's definitely, he's definitely one of those people where it's like, okay, you take it to 1, I'm gonna take it to 10 type shit. But I think it's kind of like a strategy to send a message like, yo, don't fuck with me because I'll really take it there. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like a defense.
Well, he definitely sent a message, and it wasn't the message he wanted to send because now everybody looking at him like he's scared.
I don't know. He might end up back over there, bro. He's out of jail now. You know what I mean? He might end up back over there.
And if Adam hires him to be back on No Jumper, more power to him. I don't have a problem with Almighty working at No Jumper. It's not my company.
Yeah.
So you guys act like, bro, if you guys really listen to what I was saying, a lot of the shit I said to Almighty was me telling him stuff where I was like, bro, you know, you can get better. Like, people don't realize this. Me and Almighty had the biggest podcast on No Jumper for that month. And it was bigger than that without us even resorting to fighting. The first one where we didn't fight at all was huge. And then the second one where he spit on me, that one was big too. But it was like that. It had the numbers before the violence. The violence wasn't even shown on camera. And it was a humongous show. We could, and people would probably love to watch that. Like, man, these dudes always getting into it, just verbally. People love shit like that. They matching each other's energy verbally. That's enough to get 1 million views, bro. He blew it. He blew it because he lost control.
Yeah. He definitely. You know, you're right. He does have emotional control issues. There's no question about that. But if we're gonna be fair about all this, all these people, including you to some degree, started it with him.
No, I didn't start it with him. No, I did not. I keep telling you, I asked a simple question. Josh even said, I don't think Brandon meant anything by it. He was just asking for clarification. And Almighty carried that all the way into the show and just turned up to 1,000 on it. Like, bro, I didn't have no anger, no animosity. I wasn't trying to check him. I even asked him in a low bit. I said, hey, did you say the hard ER? And I was laughing when I asked him. Because I thought
right.
Remember, I'd never met Almighty before.
And he wasn't aware that he was a black man, right?
I was aware that he was mixed. I thought he was mixed. But the point but him saying the hard ER had nothing to do with him being mixed. I just thought it was funny, so I thought maybe he had slipped or slurred his speech. And then they produced a bunch of other videos of him saying the hard ER. And I even said, I think when he gets high, he just be lazy with his tongue. Just, you know, like that. So it's like, I don't know where everybody keeps getting this, like, you started. And I'm like, no, I didn't have no issue with the nigga at all. And I still didn't have an issue with him. He was the one who didn't want to be in the No Jumper building with me. You heard me repeatedly say, I'm not worried about the nigga. Did I not say that 1,000,000 times?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had no intention to fight him. I even said that. I said, I have no intention of fighting or doing anything to Almighty. So at that point, Almighty could have said, yeah, I challenged him. He didn't want to go outside and just left it at that. He's the one who took it to the next level.
And you realize Sharp, when he was on the show, his entire brand, what his show was literally about, was checking bitches, putting them in their place, not tolerating disrespect. No. The reason I'm bringing this up is because you said when Almighty was checking Jaleese, it was like, oh, the YouTube reps are calling. Well, I'm telling you right now, when Sharp was on his show, Sharp had some of the craziest moments, bro. Like the craziest moments.
Up on a chick in her face, they both stand.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was, bro.
Listen, they were not having like a standoff.
Bro, Sharp had a situation where he got in a girl's face. He's like, yo, what you want to do? What you want to do? You over there talking like you's a man? What you want to do? Like he was in her face with his pimp hand cocked back and all that, bro. On camera.
Well, Almighty must have turned it up to 10 because the reps was calling.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know, and Almighty, the way he come off, he's like Sharp to me. He know, like even as a pimp, supposedly, pimps know when and where to do their bullshit. They know when and where to put their.
He ain't get the memo, bro. He did not get the memo.
Listen, bro, I've been around a lot of pimps. Pimps know when and where to take off on a chick. Trust me.
Just watch Sharp's greatest moments or something.
They're very aware of, dang, if I slap this chick on camera, I'm going to jail. They know that. The one thing about pimps, they don't want to go to jail. Almighty, he seemed like he'll do some crazy stuff and end up going to jail.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
But I'm done talking about Almighty. Anything else? Anything related to the topic?
When I be super chatting into No Jumper, I be talking about what's his name, Flacco, because he's like a weirdo and shit like that.
So you super chat No Jumper to talk trash on Flacco. Why don't you super chat to this channel to talk trash on me?
Because I like you, pause. So I'm not gonna super chat somebody I like. I genuinely think Flacco's a bad person.
You guys
listen. No, listen.
Super chat people.
No. I know. You say, what did you say? I do super chat. This channel. I don't super chat talking shit to you though. I'll just super chat like such and such, whatever. But when I super chat into No Jumper, it's usually when Flacco's there, and I'm like just like calling him out for all hypocrisies and all that type of shit. You know what I mean?
Oh, here goes something too. Sharp wasn't live. Almighty was live. There you go, right there.
Good point. Yeah. That's a good point right there.
I didn't even know that because I didn't watch it. Pretty sure being behind the scenes stuff like that isn't yours to divulge in any capacity. When you leave and use all that, you learn against them. Adam is gonna say that is something he didn't like from you. What is not mine to divulge? What is not mine? What the hell? Adam was talking about it on live. Hell are you talking about?
Yeah, also
Almighty. By the way, you watch Snow Jumper. Was Adam not talking about all this stuff, the YouTube rep and stuff, calling on the live?
You saying was Adam talking about Almighty?
That whole situation with Almighty and Jalise.
Yeah, but it was almost like an afterthought though, the way you made it sound. He was more concerned with the situation with you and Almighty.
No, I know, but Adam went into depth with that situation. That was an afterthought when he was talking about us, but I'm talking about after that happened with Jalise. Adam brought up all the stuff where Almighty was actually, they said he was suspended, but he had actually fired him. Then he brought him back, and then he couldn't be on camera with Jalise anymore. Adam then talked about all this, bro. Y'all tripping.
Bro, he did not fire him over the Jalise situation.
He did. He even said it on live. He fired him, but then, they talked and he brought him back because he said, oh, he was suspended. And Almighty even said it. Almighty was like, nigga, low key, I was fired. Y'all don't really be remembering. Almighty sat on the couch and was like, low key, I was fired. But then, he said he called.
Because he flipped on her twice. You flipped on Jalise on 2 separate episodes.
That has nothing. He flipped on her twice?
Yeah, like it was one episode he flipped on her. Then he flipped on her again on a whole other episode.
Yeah, I just think that one on live. Like, was the other one live?
Both of them are live.
Yeah, I just think that one they got wind of it.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, I'm gonna open it up for somebody else, Brody.
Yeah. I don't think anybody was calling, but thank you, I appreciate it.
All right.
But I mean, a lot of things are conflated that don't really have a lot to do with each other. We got on this whole Almighty tangent, but ultimately, this is about AJ. This is about the Menace Material podcast. And these guys criticizing me, and the criticisms they're just not valid. I don't think anyone who watches those, and the people in the comments were definitely going after them. And so, I just hope that he either says like, hey, let me chill, check myself, or he can keep doing what he's doing. But at least if you're going to criticize me, come up with some valid criticisms. And before we leave, I want you guys to see what they were, because y'all know they went to No Jumper, right? And these dudes start talking about some guy named Elliot Wilson. And one thing I want you to notice, AJ does all the talking. These other guys barely got a chance to say anything. And I'm kind of like, why are they even there? You know, because clearly AJ thinks he's a one-man show. So just start a one-man show. But then I looked him up and he does have a one-man show, but it can't even get 100 views on a video. So this guy definitely has some delusions of grandeur. And I'm going to allow you guys to see some of that, see him in his greatness, talking to Adam. Now, what happened here was Adam actually let them come to his show, come to No Jumper Studio, and he let them record their own show. Like, he let them do their normal show that they do. He let them do it at No Jumper. And it was so boring. Adam actually had to jump in, and Adam becomes like the most entertaining person.
Like some of the worst podcasts I've
sitting at the table
probably seen in my life have been No Jumper podcasts. I'm not gonna lie, because
Yabba dabba do, people. Welcome back to another installment of the Homeroom University podcast. You see, excuse me, my voice is a little raspy. We're in LA, and you know what goes down in LA. But this is the podcast about your favorite podcast. I am your classmate, Tone Groove.
Jay Nobles.
AJ the Menace.
Yes. And I guess it's pretty redundant to introduce who we have
the
here.
22 star.
Yeah. Shout out to Adam 22.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You filming in his studio for fun. You know what I mean?
Shout out to that.
Shout out to
North Cackalack.
But you know, we are the ESPN of podcasting, and just like ESPN, occasionally we had to have a player in the game come through, talk about the highlights, the lowlights, see what's been going on in the game.
And for all the pleasantries, make sure you like the video. Check the description for Patreon, all that good stuff. But
definitely do that
for sure.
Let the record reflect. I came on your podcast before Joe or Ag or Charlemagne
That's
or
not true.
Loon.
That's not true.
What the? Oh, because he gave you the episode. Yeah, all right, you're right.
How could that possibly be true?
He gave you the episode.
That's Joe so bad, man. Joe's
he's in the room.
He looked out for it. He is in the room too.
People ask me about that all
Yeah,
the
we
time
noticed
now.
that you got like a weird infatuation with him.
Infatuation is a strong word.
Respect.
Yeah.
And disdain. It's like cool combo.
That's what makes it weird.
It's a spliff.
It's like you
Just what's the ratio this week?
Yeah, literally, that's literally what. Were you a little upset that you couldn't link up with him when you was in New York? Because it did. Okay, there was one moment where you were like, "All right, y'all, I'm in New York. We could do some collab." That did look a little crazy.
Oh, what?
You gave an open invite.
Yeah, it was like you gave when y'all
I
were
wasn't
doing
looking for like podcast appearances. I was looking for like weed companies to pay me to like stand in front of the camera like Drake and be like, "Y'all need this fentanyl."
But if Joe hit you, it was like slide through. You know, you're only across.
You wasn't
the
trying to hit two birds with one stone.
Yeah, come on.
No, I didn't even think about that. You think Joe watches my Instagram story? That would be surprising me. I guess it would probably be like
Joe
a Reddit post of it, but I didn't see anything like that.
It would come
See,
back.
you guys are reading into shit beyond what like the most hardcore Redditors are reading into shit, which both props and shame on you.
I don't think I don't think so.
But that's the first time I heard that narrative that I was being thirsty to go on the Joe Budden podcast while I was out.
Yeah, just
like a dog.
All right, so homeroom, we all flew in not too long ago. You know, we've been experiencing the LA lifestyle. Shout out to AD, you know what I'm saying? He's been making sure we good out here.
Literally.
Don't make that face.
You know,
he's a good guy. He's a good guy.
Hating because you weren't in the club with us.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You didn't have any San Diego-esque experiences?
That sounds a little.
I don't understand the context of that.
I don't think I want one of those.
No, we've been
He didn't
extremely
end up
good.
down on his booty in front
We've
of the
been
club?
extremely
Okay.
great. You know,
That's good.
So, but
Change
yeah,
it
man,
up.
we've been doing everything with LA, connecting with people, Adam, you know, AD and everything. So AD took us to this LA function, which is like the top of the summer, I guess one of the biggest parties of LA. And while we're there, we chilling, we having a good time. We niggas is popping bottles. We doing all that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, this guy AJ is such an incel. I hung with AD and we were popping bottles and we were doing all this. But this is what I'm saying. And this is probably why the video only has 17,000 views. Like, you were on No Jumper. And the video only has 17,000 views. Come on, bro. But this guy's talking about he's putting somebody on a shirt. I'm not seeing it, AJ.
Yeah.
Then we hear on the announcement, a hip hop legend is in the building. Elliot Wilson. I said, what? All of us said, nigga, who's in the building?
The crowd was silent.
Oh my God, Elliot. Oh my God.
There was a gust.
Yeah, everybody started. Yeah.
Nigga, we looked up, but we have history with Elliot. Elliot was the first person of major notoriety to ever post Homeroom University.
Oh, well, yeah. He's got a real spray and pray attitude.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
No jumper,
Twitter,
man.
yeah.
He kind of makes us pale in comparison. He'll just
Yes,
post what.
yeah.
That happens to me all the time. I say something on here and it's like, oh,
And he's like a real hip hop journal head. Like, does he respect you? And he's like a real hip hop journal.
I was like,
good podcast.
No, I mean, I would say that like he's not as relevant now. Like, obviously, he's just like one of many dozens of other people.
I feel that.
Yeah.
But, you know,
He ain't even
we
trying to
brought this
negotiate.
up to say it's Big Elliot around here from now on. You know what I'm saying? That's what the fuck it is.
It's bigger, Elliot.
It's bigger Elliot.
Bigger, Elliot.
Elliot, out of everybody that we've encountered, that we've talked to, Elliot was on some G shit. I ain't gonna hold you. Elliot was like, because when I seen him, pretty much anytime we're in an area and we're around the people that we've talked about, I try to make sure I'm going up to them immediately. You know what I mean? Especially if we talk good or bad, honestly, but especially if we talk bad.
But
You know
if
what
you've
I'm saying?
talked crazy about them, you don't have any, because you know, like normal people, when you see somebody that you've talked shit about online in the club, you like don't want to go talk to them.
Yeah, but we don't talk.
But that is some whole ass shit.
I don't think.
Crazy
Yeah, we
shit.
don't talk that crazy. The
And
jokes we might have just joked for way too long.
Like when I
You know
met
what I'm
Rick
saying?
Ross the other day, like
Yeah.
or maybe a month ago or something. Well, actually, it was before the Drake and Kendrick thing, so like 2 months ago.
How were you? Is how high were you?
I was maybe.
Yeah, this is boring, right? I mean, by no stretch of the imagination, no shade. This shit's whack. Like, it could have been decent, I guess, but basically, you guys want to do your show on and No Jumper Studio. You might as well just let Adam be the lead of the show, because AJ wasn't asking no good questions. They weren't talking about, oh, okay, we come to No Jumper. Listen, this is how stupid this is. We come to No Jumper. They let us use their studio. While at the No Jumper studio, we're not going to talk about anything going on at No Jumper, but we're going to talk about Elliot, whatever his name is, someone we are acknowledging is no longer relevant on the hip hop scene. You said in the club, they mentioned his name and no one cheered. No one made no noise. It went silent. So, let me go on No Jumper and talk about this person to an audience that's probably even less familiar with this Elliot guy than the people in that club. See, there's nobody with intelligence. The person who's running that show is not using intelligence. If I go to No Jumper, I'm going to talk about something that is extremely trendy. And the Elliot shit might be like an afterthought or a segue or like a small part of it. But this guy said he's putting people on shirts at No Jumper. I'm not seeing it, AJ. I'm not seeing it. You sound like a fanboy of Adam who's excited that Adam let you sit across the table from him. But like we said in the beginning, you're mad at me because I'm authentic. You're mad at me because you can't be me. Why don't you just shut up and learn and emulate or imitate what I'm doing? And then people might bring you there for you and not bring you there. I don't know why Adam brought you there. You flew there and begged him to let you come, and then you came. Then he let you go. But they're in no position to criticize me. That's it. Let me get my boy Robert Lee Williamson, my brother from another mother. Lily Gaddis was talking about you, cuz you should check it out. Most definitely will. Thank you for the $10 holler. I appreciate you. Let me see if I got any Cash App going on. I don't want to miss anybody who contributed to the stream, who showed love. Let me see if my phone's taking forever. No. Okay. Well, thank you to everybody who contributed to the stream. Thank you to everyone who liked the stream. Please, I want to be at least 100 likes. And thank you to anyone who subscribes to the stream. Shout out to my boy Hakeem for the $10 holler on the Cash App. Appreciate that, my brother. I appreciate all of you. Well, Mr. Payne, African sellout. Okay, got it. Brandon cares about them. That's why he's streaming about them. And I'm streaming about them because my audience, unfortunately for me, when my audience members hit me up continuously, these guys are saying stuff about you, do a reaction. I tend to just give my audience what they want. I mean, I know you guys might watch other YouTube channels where they just ignore the audience. I just can't do that. My audience, I give them what they want because, hell, you guys are the reason I'm here. You guys are the reason I even had an opportunity at No Jumper or on any other platform. So I always show my audience love and try to tailor my shows around the things that they want to see. Beyond that, that's it. You guys saw what I saw. I put the StreamYard link in. So those guys wanted to come up and defend themselves. They had the ability to. They didn't. And those who, wanted to come up, came up. But thank you all so much for watching this. I appreciate every single thing you do for me and this channel. Till the next time, take care of yourselves. But most importantly, please take care of each other. Peace.